Why are we paying 10 yuan a bowl when those workers next door only pay 6? Because our restaurant gives workers a special discount. In my previous life, I ran a small restaurant by a mine. With my low prices, workers and farmers from all around came to eat, and everyone loved the place. Then one day, several influencers walked in, phones already recording. They ordered 5 bowls of beef noodles for 50 yuan, then started yelling. Why are we paying 10 yuan a bowl when those workers next door only pay 6? Because our restaurant gives workers a special discount. They refused to listen. On their live stream, they played the victims, called me a crooked owner, and claimed I ran a scam restaurant that even spiked customers' food. The workers trusted them because they were influencers. The girl then exposed my restaurant online and her fans trashed it. Unable to endure the harassment, I took my own life. Ma'am, 5 bowls of beef noodles. My heart lurched as my mind snapped back into focus. I looked up and saw a huge crowd of young people entering, just as I expected. They were all dressed to impress with brightly colored hair. 2 of the guys even wore trendy earrings. My whole body began trembling and my breathing quickened. I'd been reborn. I was actually back. Joy flooded my mind. I fought hard to keep myself from charging at the people in front of me. They were a group of minor influencers. In my previous life, my restaurant by the mine gave workers special discounts. People loved it, the media covered it, and someone even made a short documentary about it. Once it went viral, these people came sniffing around like predators. At first, I thought they genuinely wanted to promote my restaurant. That's 50 yuan total. I even added a little extra beef for you. The moment I finished speaking, a girl named Yuan stared at me in shock and snapped sharply. 10 yuan? Why do I pay 10 when you only charge those miners 6? I froze for a moment, then explained. We offer special discounts to miners and farmers. So because I'm not a worker or farmer, I deserve to get ripped off and pay more. Ever heard of equality? They have jobs and can make money. They don't need your tiny discount. What you're doing insults me and every worker and farmer here. Do you understand that? She sounded completely self-righteous. Her twisted logic left me speechless. When Yuan saw I had nothing to say, she burst out laughing. Lady, you've got some nerve. We investigated you. This place is a scam that makes dirty money from rotten meat and vegetables. Her friends started shouting too. The miners around us put down their chopsticks and watched suspiciously. Stunned, I tried to explain. Nothing is rotten. I have the invoices. I pay for fresh vegetables to be delivered every day. Everything is absolutely fresh. Before I could pull out the invoices, Yuan slammed the table, stood up, and dumped every bowl of beef noodles over my head. The fresh soup made me scream from the heat, but they only laughed and mocked me. A filthy restaurant for a filthy woman. Some workers couldn't stand it and came to defend me. Then the influencers suddenly pretended to faint and gag. Yuan rushed into the kitchen and yanked open a cabinet. A horrible stench poured out. She tossed out bags of rotten meat and vegetables, some crawling with bugs. My eyes widened in disbelief. Everyone see this? This is what she's been feeding you all along. The miners instantly turned furious and glared at me. Yuan spoke as if she'd already won. This crooked owner has spent years taking your hard-earned money with rotten meat. We must boycott people like her. Then she started wrecking the restaurant and urged everyone else to join in. I desperately tried to explain. No, please believe me, that food isn't mine. The workers felt betrayed and wouldn't listen. Their eyes burned with anger. I grabbed Old Liu, who had just defended me. Old Liu, you've eaten here for years. Wouldn't you know if I used rotten meat and vegetables? The evidence is right here. Without this young woman, we'd still have no idea you were fooling us. Exactly. Thank goodness for her. What a crook! Come on, guys, let's wreck this place and shut her down! The workers destroyed my restaurant. Old Liu even jumped onto the counter and took my money, calling it compensation for medical bills. Within minutes, the little restaurant I'd built with such care lay in ruins. The miners escorted the influencers outside, praising them. You young people are so kind. I'll tell everyone about this and make sure her restaurant stays closed. If she tries to reopen, we'll shut her down every time. Exactly, thank you young people for saving us. I watched them leave and stared at the wreckage, heartbroken. Later, the influencers smeared me online for views. Their fans exposed my private information. Even my young daughter was targeted. Her teacher told the class what happened and encouraged them to exclude and bully her. In tears, I gave custody back to her father. I lost everything. While everyone treated me like a monster, the influencers became famous for exposing me. They made millions through shopping live streams. In the end, I was driven to take my own life. The memories still made me tremble. But this time, I wouldn't repeat my old mistakes. I swallowed my emotions and quietly observed the influencers in front of me. Just like before, the moment they entered, they pulled out handfuls of napkins and scrubbed the tables and chairs. Who knows how many miners have used this table? It's probably covered in their spit. In my previous life, I tried to explain. We wipe these tables every day. They're clean. They mocked me without mercy. What a dump. You don't even look clean, so how clean could these tables be? My clothes were old and couldn't compare to their stylish outfits. All I could do was smile awkwardly. I never imagined they were secretly taking pictures of me. They posted those photos online with vicious comments, but I wasn't that naive anymore. I didn't stop them from wasting napkins. I quietly turned on my phone's camera and recorded their ugly behavior. Would their fans still defend them after seeing how their idols acted off camera? Hey besties, my friends and I came to check out this noodle shop today. The miners nearby told us the food is amazing. We can't wait. Wenyuan's voice sounded sweet and cheerful. I quietly went into the kitchen and opened the food cabinet. Sure enough, it was packed with moldy vegetables and rotten meat. Since opening this restaurant, I'd never made a single dishonest cent. Prices had risen for years, yet I'd never cut corners, much less bought spoiled food. Where did all this come from? The influencers had to be behind it. But in my previous life, I died without finding proof that they'd framed me. Before today, none of them had ever visited City A. They had always streamed from City B, which proved their whereabouts. So who actually wanted to ruin me? As I thought, I quietly dragged out all the rotten food. This time, I wouldn't just stop their setup. I would fight back and return every bit of pain they caused me in my previous life. Hey lady, do your hands not work? Why is one bowl of noodles taking so long? Yuan Yuan's impatient voice rang out. I walked over with a warm smile and spoke gently. That's 50 yuan, cash or card. Behind me, my phone was recording. That's right, the first step in my revenge was letting history repeat itself. After the incident in my previous life, I exposed the influencers' cruelty online. I told everyone how they'd humiliated me and destroyed my restaurant. Those bowls of scalding beef noodles nearly left me badly burned. The pain was unbearable. But public opinion had already turned against me, so my cries meant nothing. People even cheered. They said I deserved it for running a scam restaurant and praised the influencers for punishing evil. How ridiculous. This time, everything would be different. 10 yuan? Why do I pay 10 when those miners only pay 6? There's something wrong with this place. I'll expose you and have my fans tear it apart. I studied each of them, capturing every ugly expression. Now I only needed to provoke them a little more. I straightened my back and fired right back without giving an inch. I've run this restaurant for 10 years and the discount has existed just as long. The media covered it and everyone in town knows about it. If you asked around before coming here, you couldn't have missed it. That means you came here looking for trouble. I didn't soften a single word. Yuan Yuan's eyes widened with rage. That's a lie. Who would bother causing trouble over your lousy beef noodles? I closed my eyes and let her dump the noodles over my head. But this time, I'd prepared. Instead of boiling water, I'd used broth no warmer than bath water. The influencers behind Yuan Yuan copied her and poured their noodles on me too, laughing the entire time. She looks so ugly now. Gross. Seriously gross. Lady, do you ever make yourself presentable? Listening to them, I pretended to tremble all over and shouted in fear. Aren't you afraid this will get out? The influencers exchanged glances. Do you have any proof we did it? The influencers sounded completely confident. They had clearly decided I could never prove anything. It wasn't just that every security camera in my restaurant was broken. There were still workers inside. What if one had recorded everything? I looked around at the workers scattered across the room. Maybe it was my imagination, but their bodies were tense, as if waiting for a signal. My heart went cold as I began to understand. All right, let's speed things up. Yuan Yuan said that, then started recording. A female influencer beside her suddenly doubled over and pretended to gag. Yuan Yuan pointed at me. What did you do to Tao Tao? She ate your noodles and ended up like this. Did you put something disgusting in her food? A worker suddenly spoke up. Young lady, don't make things up. I've eaten here for years. How could this place be unsanitary? By then, I was certain the workers and influencers were working together. Yuan Yuan snorted. Then can any of you explain why Tao Tao is throwing up like this? I'm inspecting that kitchen today. I clenched my fist tightly. Fine. You can inspect the kitchen, but you must live stream it. If you find something, I'll apologize. If you find nothing, you apologize to me live. The influencers barely hesitated. None of them wanted to lose the views, so they all started live streaming. Their explosive title read, Exposing a Media Darling Restaurant, Fake Kindness, Rotten Business. Yuan Yuan even cried dramatically for the camera. Bestie's Tao Tao has been vomiting since eating here, and now she's unconscious. We investigated this owner and learned that she's been fooling people with rotten meat and vegetables. I'm going live to expose this ugly truth and save the workers and farmers she's deceived. The entire group rushed into the kitchen. I quietly retrieved the phone that had been recording and made a call, then watched them work. They wandered around pretending to inspect everything. I'm a clean freak and wipe up every stain immediately, so the live stream chat started flying. Wow, our favorite creators are live! This place looks clean, it doesn't seem shady. I've eaten here. The food is genuinely good and the owner is very kind. It looks spotless to me. Are these influencers smearing her on purpose? More and more comments appeared, and Yuan Yuan could barely hide her grin. Sure, everything you can see looks spotless, but before coming here, we investigated this owner. She sells rotten meat and vegetables and cooks with illegal recycled oil. Now we're going to reveal her true face. She yanked open the cabinet, but no stench appeared. It was spotless and completely empty. Not one rotten vegetable or piece of meat. Every influencer froze and stared at the others in disbelief. I fought with all my strength not to smile. Their performance was over. Now it was my turn. Looking disheveled, I walked over and sobbed like a desperate, helpless, middle-aged woman. What do you want from me? I'm just trying to run an honest business. If 10 yuan is too much, I'll give you the same discount. Why dump noodles on me, insult me, and call this place a scam? You're influencers, and we're ordinary people, so please stop hurting me. My whole family depends on this restaurant, please. My tears made the live stream comments explode. Every influencer froze, staring at the others in disbelief. I fought with all my strength not to smile. Their performance was over. Now it was my turn. Looking disheveled, I walked over and sobbed like a desperate, helpless, middle-aged woman. What do you want from me? I'm just trying to run an honest business. If 10 yuan is too much, I'll give you the same discount. Why dump noodles on me, insult me, and call this place a scam? You're influencers and we're ordinary people, so please stop hurting me. My whole family depends on this restaurant, please. My tears made the live stream comments explode. Yuan Yuan glared fiercely at me. I answered her with a cold smile. Suddenly, ambulance and police sirens sounded in the distance. Paramedics approached carrying a stretcher. Every influencer froze when they saw the medics and officers, and the entire live stream saw them too. Their stunt had gone too far. Zhang Taotao was taken away for emergency treatment. In my previous life, I called the police but had no proof of their wrongdoing, so nothing happened. This time, they had nothing on me while I secretly held proof against them. The tables had turned. We were taken to the station for statements, but I didn't reveal my video. That recording was my ace. I couldn't reveal it casually. The influencers had no evidence that my restaurant was unsafe, so they were detained for 1 day. Afterward, I went to the hospital. I only wanted to learn what was really wrong with Zhang Taotao. When I reached Zhang Taotao's room, a young nurse was coming out. Her eyes lit up when she saw me. "Ma'am, I watched the live stream. Those influencers went way too far." I quickly asked her, "How is Zhang Taotao now?" The young nurse's mouth twitched. "She's pretending to be asleep." Then she took my hand. "Don't worry, ma'am. If you ever need me to testify to anything, come find me. I can't stand people like them." After so much scheming and conflict, I was exhausted. Her sincere concern suddenly warmed my heart, and tears filled my eyes. I nodded repeatedly and thanked her. My fate from my previous life had been rewritten, but I wasn't stopping here. From the moment I was reborn, my goal was no longer just to change my fate. I would return every bit of pain and suffering from my last life. The real revenge had only begun. When I got home, I immediately sent my daughter to stay with her grandparents in the countryside, then hurried back overnight. What happened to me had deeply affected her in my previous life. This time, even if I changed my fate and was no longer hated by everyone, I wouldn't risk hurting her again. Then I backed up the video on my phone. I needed to prepare because those influencers wouldn't stop. Sure enough, they resurfaced within 2 days. On livestream, Yuan Yuan sobbed with red, swollen eyes. She held up several hospital records and cried so hard she could barely speak. Tao Tao had her stomach pumped 3 times and barely survived. As her friend, I'm heartbroken. Everyone close to her knows she has stomach problems. Before those noodles, we'd been on the train all day, and motion sickness kept her from eating. I won't stop fighting no matter how hard it gets. Truth always wins. I won't be silenced. Just wait. Her speech actually won some of the fans back over. That was incredible. That old lady can rot. Oh my gosh, that was so powerful! Am I the only one who caught the real message? Yuan Yuan is saying someone targeted them and powerful people are protecting that restaurant. Honestly, that sounds totally possible. Think about it. That restaurant is right beside a mine, and the media has featured and praised it before. Just think about that. Just like that, they controlled the narrative again. Reading the comments, I had to admire the internet's imagination. I was an ordinary woman with no powerful connections, but I chose not to respond yet. I searched through the influencers' videos one by one. They were a professional restaurant expose crew that had posted videos since 2019 and investigated over 150 restaurants nationwide. I made a list of every location. I couldn't visit them all myself, but I could do something else. Some restaurants had closed, while others survived after making changes. I found their delivery numbers and called them one by one. They had all been harmed by the influencer crew and endured terrible online harassment. They hated that group deeply. I kept calling until late at night, then rubbed my eyes and went to bed. For the next several days, the influencers kept playing the victims on livestream. Yuan Yuan stayed beside Tao Tao and repeatedly shouted slogans like, "Truth survives and light always wins." I couldn't help laughing. I couldn't understand what had their fans so fired up, but this crew had plenty of blind followers. Every day they attacked me online, imagining themselves as heroic champions of justice. Their naivety was laughable. I created my own account and posted one sentence: "The truth will speak for itself." Naturally, everyone attacked me. Everyone believed I was some powerful villain running a criminal restaurant. They even spread rumors that I used human meat in my food. I didn't care. After surviving online harassment in 2 different lives, no one could hurt me anymore. If anyone threw paint on my door or came looking for trouble, I immediately called the police. That scared them into keeping their attacks online. Day after day passed. Strangely, ever since I returned to the mine, the influencer crew seemed to have stopped live streaming. They posted another expose video, acting like they'd finally moved on from me. But I knew she wouldn't let it go that easily. Then one day I saw Yuan Yuan was live. I clicked in and found her looking dead serious as she solemnly told her viewers, "Don't worry everyone, I always finish what I start." Alarm bells immediately went off in my head. That night, as I was closing up, Uncle Liu suddenly smiled and asked, "Did you get the security cameras installed?" I smiled back and said, "After what happened last time, there's no way I'm cutting corners on cameras again." Uncle Liu finished his noodle broth and left. I watched him walk away, flooded with mixed emotions. Honestly, I'd run that shop for 10 years and knew nearly every worker around the mine. But Uncle Liu was the one I trusted most. Years ago, when some workers harassed me, he stepped in front of me and scared them off. I never forgot what he did for me. If I had a choice, I never would have suspected him, but people change. I locked up and went home. At 2 a.m., my security feed suddenly went black. Someone had cut the power. But I'd prepared for that. My battery-powered mini camera was still recording. I watched closely. Then, with a click, the door opened, and a familiar figure walked in. It was Uncle Lou. My heart sank. People really do change.
He dragged in a pile of rotten meat and vegetables and stuffed them into my cabinet.
It's all in place. Come over when you start the live stream. Yuan Yuan's voice came clearly through the phone. Good. I'll wire the money to your account. We couldn't ruin that woman last time, but this time I'm finishing the job. The call ended. In the pitch-dark room, Uncle Lou said shakily, "Please don't blame me. Those influencers offered too much. I have a wife and kids to support." My chest heaved and anger made my head spin. Someone I trusted so deeply had betrayed me. What a joke. Then I remembered my previous life. After everything fell apart, Uncle Lou came to comfort me and said he believed me, so he'd played a part in the online mob all along. I held back my emotions and opened Yuan Yuan's live stream. Sure enough, she was outside. "Guys, it's 2:30 in the morning, and we came all the way out to the mine. Tonight, I personally saw her accept a delivery of rotten meat and vegetables. This time, I'm exposing who she really is." The live chat flooded in. "We believe you, Yuan Yuan. Go get her. Show everyone what a crooked business this is." Exactly. With proof this solid, let's see how her paid trolls try to spin it now. Drop more super chats and push this stream to trending. Yuan Yuan and her crew rushed to my shop and kicked the door open together. They flipped on the lights, charged into the kitchen, and pulled open the cabinet without a second thought. It was packed with rotten meat and vegetables. One mystery bottle of oil was even full of dead flies. The place erupted. "Ew, that's disgusting. So disgusting. Oh my god, somebody help! Is this what Tao Tao ate? Poor Tao Tao, shut this place down. Trash it, trash it!" The live stream exploded. Yuan Yuan and the other influencers exchanged looks, then started wrecking my shop while shouting about truth and justice. It made my skin crawl. The stream had already hit #1 across several platforms, while my inbox filled with abusive messages. Seeing it all, I knew it was time to end this. I released the videos I'd prepared one by one. First, them wasting food. Second, them dumping noodle broth on me. And third, Uncle Liu sneaking into my shop that night to plant the rotten food. I even attached that day's purchase receipts. After posting all 3 videos, I entered Yuan Yuan's live stream from my main account. She was so worked up from smashing things that she seemed determined to vent every ounce of resentment. When she saw me join, she said, "Lady, the evidence is right in front of you. What could you possibly say now?" I had plenty to say, but I didn't need to say a word. Calmly, I typed one line. "Go check my profile." Suspicious. Yuan Yuan opened my profile, the smile still frozen on her face. My video's view count started skyrocketing. "Oh my god, what a massive plot twist! What does this mean? Yuan Yuan staged the whole thing herself? That's disgusting!" I followed her forever, attacked this woman, and kept shouting that truth is innocent. Oh my god, just thinking about it gives me chills. Then I posted the young nurse's video, with her face blurred for privacy. In it, she said firmly, "Zhang Tao Dao remained unconscious at the hospital because she was pretending to sleep. She never had food poisoning. What she did have was a severe reaction caused by long-term use of birth control pills." After Yuan Yuan and her crew saw the video, their faces turned grave and the camera began shaking violently. She muttered, and frantically tried to explain. "Don't let her fool you. If Tao Tao's fine, why is she still in the hospital? If she insisted on digging herself deeper, I was happy to let her keep going." Yuan Yuan could barely hold her phone, and then the live stream ended. I didn't move. I just watched the videos on my profile. Sure enough, 1 minute later, they were taken down. That was fine. I opened my screen recording and uploaded them again. All night long, I kept at it. Whenever a video was blocked, I reposted it immediately. The other business owners I'd contacted reached out and volunteered to repost the videos too. To them, I was a beacon of hope. These influencers had humiliated and hurt them, but they couldn't fight back. Now I stood in front of them and showed them they weren't powerless. The influencer crew had no chance of recovering. Zhang Tao Tao even tried going live to play the victim, but by then they'd become public enemy #1. Once people realized they'd been deceived, they were too busy condemning the crew to believe another word they said. Out of options, they contacted me and asked to meet at a cafe. I was already seated when Yuan Yuan finally walked in, bundled from head to toe, and sat across from me. 200,000 yuan. Say the whole thing was scripted by all of us. Her tone made me laugh. Not a chance. Yuan Yuan's face twisted with anger. "Don't push your luck. 200 grand isn't enough for an old, ugly woman like you." I stood, looked her in the eye, and slapped her so hard her sunglasses fell off. Yuan Yuan clutched her face in disbelief, then lunged at me with rage written all over her face. "You actually hit me? Your parents must be ashamed to have a daughter like you. I wouldn't agree for 200,000 yuan or even 1,000,000. I'll see you in court." Then I turned and walked away. Suddenly I heard voices behind me. "Hey, isn't that Yuan Yuan? That's her, right?" "Yeah, that's her. She looks pretty online, so why does she look so different in person? She must stretch her legs and filter every video. It's about time she learned what being publicly shamed feels like." 3 days later, I took the influencer crew straight to court. My timing was perfect. They hadn't yet paid the penalties for their broken sponsorship contracts. These influencers regularly sold products on live streams and had contracts with brands. If their own misconduct forced a partnership to end, they'd owe enormous breach of contract penalties. Once I sued them, their only chance to avoid jail and settle the case was to pay me. In the end, the 5 influencers paid me a total of 500,000 yuan. Yuan Yuan even threatened me in court. "Just you wait." Too bad she had no time left to make me wait. After paying me 500,000 yuan, the crew immediately faced their massive contract penalties. At first, they barely kept up, but they'd signed so many contracts, accepting nearly every offer, that their savings quickly ran dry. They sold their cars, their homes, and everything they owned, but still couldn't cover it all. Prison was waiting. As for the shop by the mine, I no longer had the heart to keep it open. I decided not to sue Uncle Liu or pursue him further. I considered it repayment for the kindness he'd once shown me. I sold the shop. The location was remote, but my place was famous and came with built-in traffic. It was also the only restaurant for miles, so the sale went surprisingly smoothly. When I left, many workers begged me to stay. My food was cheap and delicious, so of course they didn't want to lose the sucker who kept giving them such a bargain. But there was no way I was staying. In my previous life, I didn't give up after my shop was destroyed. I used my savings to renovate and tried reopening. But the influencer crew opened a new restaurant next door and gave everyone 20% off. The workers flocked there and took every chance to insult my shop too. After that, I walked away without guilt or regret. Once the dust settled, I returned to the countryside. I brought my daughter back, moved to another city, and used my money to open a new little restaurant. I even began learning about social media and trying live streams. My following and income kept growing. Through my own effort, I built a completely different life. In this life, there was no cyberbullying and no one framed me. My life was only just beginning. Mornings in the new city always felt unusually gentle, unlike the heavy, coal dust-filled dawns by the mine. The breeze carried a faint scent of sweet osmanthus. With fresh vegetables from the market in hand, I pushed open the wooden door of Warm Stone Kitchen. The wind chime rang, crisp and soothing. My daughter Nyanyan wore her tiny cartoon backpack, her little face full of determination. "Mom, I want to help pick the vegetables today too. My teacher says hard work is something to be proud of." I crouched down and straightened her crooked collar, warmth filling my eyes. These were the moments I treasured most after being reborn. No insults, no schemes, only my daughter's laughter and the comforting bustle of our little restaurant. The new restaurant sat at the entrance to an alley in the old neighborhood. It was small but spotless. The walls were a soft ivory and decorated with simple watercolors Nian had painted. Sunshine, flowers, and the two of us holding hands. Unlike my old place by the mine, I didn't offer discounts to any particular group here. I simply charged fair prices and used quality ingredients. In this life, all I wanted was to work honestly and live peacefully. Just as I carried the vegetables into the kitchen, I heard a familiar voice at the door. "Ma'am, 1 bowl of beef noodles, extra cilantro." It was Xiao Nu, a student at the nearby middle school. Ever since he wandered in for noodles 2 weeks earlier, he'd been a regular. His parents worked far from home, so he usually ate alone. I always gave him an extra scoop of beef, just as I had for the miners, not for any reason other than caring about him. "Coming right up," I answered with a smile and headed into the kitchen. Water bubbled in the pot as I dropped in the handmade noodles. I sliced the slow-braised beef, added it to a bowl with fresh cilantro and golden scallions, then poured steaming beef broth over everything. The aroma instantly filled the room. Xiaono took the bowl, his eyes lighting up. "Your noodles are even better than my mom's." I sat across from him and watched him devour the noodles. Suddenly, I remembered how Nyanyan used to beg me for beef noodles in my previous life. Back then, the influencers and online attacks consumed me, leaving no time to share a proper meal with my daughter. I gently patted Xiaonuo's head. "Slow down, just tell me if you want more." Business gradually picked up. Most customers were local residents, students, and office workers. They didn't do the same grueling labor as the miners, but each carried their own burdens. A programmer stopping by for hot noodles after working late, a young mom peeling an egg for her child, or a retiree with a cane slowly enjoying a bowl of oatmeal. I kept my old routine, heading to the market before sunrise and personally choosing fresh meat and vegetables. I rejected anything less than fresh. The kitchen cameras ran around the clock, both to prevent trouble and to reassure every customer. Sometimes people asked, "Why don't you become an influencer and sell products on live streams?" After all, my videos exposing that influencer crew had gone mildly viral, and plenty of people had followed my account. I'm not talented, I just know how to cook a few home-style meals. Running my restaurant well and taking care of my daughter is enough for me. It wasn't that I didn't want to earn money. In my previous life, I'd been swept up by internet fame and lost control of my own life. This time, I only wanted peace and the small happiness I'd found. I still updated my account, but no longer posted accusations or rebuttals. Most videos showed Nian's daily life or food from the restaurant, with an occasional cooking tip. I didn't have many followers, but every one of them genuinely liked what I shared. They left comments wishing Nian and me a peaceful, joyful life. Once I posted a video of her helping me sort vegetables, and the comments were full of warmth. "The owner is so sweet, and Nian is adorable. This life is so comforting to watch. May life treat both of you kindly from now on." My eyes grew warm as I read them. So this was what the internet was supposed to be. Life stayed peaceful and steady. Then one day, a stranger entered the restaurant. He wore plain work clothes, his skin dark from the sun, and something about his face felt familiar. After staring for a moment, I recognized Old Wang from the mine. Old Wang was one of the few workers who hadn't helped destroy my shop. In my previous life, when the online attacks were at their worst, he'd secretly brought me food. I was so broken then that I never properly thanked him. Old Wang took a seat in the corner. "Ma'am, I've been looking everywhere for you. I finally found you." I poured him a cup of hot water and sat across from him. "Old Wang, what brings you here?" He took a sip of water and sighed. The shop by the mine has changed owners several times. Either the prices are too high or the food is terrible. We all miss your noodles. Then someone said you'd opened a place in the city, so I came looking for you. I looked at him, overwhelmed with emotion. In my previous life, I'd hated the workers who betrayed me, their stupidity and blind conformity. But old Wang reminded me that not everyone had been blinded by self-interest, and not everyone was cold-hearted. Let me make you a bowl of beef noodles, just like the old days. I set down a steaming bowl of beef noodles. Old Wang took one bite, and his eyes immediately filled with tears. This is it. It tastes exactly the same as it did back then. As he ate, he told me what had happened near the mine. The influencers never paid Uncle Lou what they'd promised. Instead, they made him their scapegoat and exposed the footage of him planting rotten meat in my shop. He couldn't stay at the mine, so he took his family back home. Apparently, he was struggling. He also said the workers who had helped trash my shop regretted it. They knew the influencers had fooled them, but they'd lost their chance to apologize. I'm sorry. We were fools back then. Those influencers deceived us and we treated you terribly. It's all in the past. I don't blame you. You were misled too. Before leaving, Old Wang gave me a bag of homegrown vegetables. He said no pesticides had been used and wanted Nian Nian and me to try them. Watching him walk away, I suddenly felt ready to let go of every grudge from my previous life. Some who hurt me had received the punishment they deserved, while others had truly changed. And I had finally stepped out of the past and begun a new life. That fall, Nian Nian started elementary school. Each morning, I walked her to school and returned to open the restaurant. At dusk, I closed up, picked her up, and held her hand as we walked along leaf-covered paths while she told me funny stories from class. Sometimes, she asked, "Mom, will we always be this happy?" I hugged her and answered with certainty, "Yes, we'll stay this happy for a long, long time." One day, a special guest came in, the young nurse from the hospital. She no longer worked there and had earned a local government job. She'd come specifically to visit me. "What brings you here?" I asked, delighted. The young nurse held my hands and told me how she'd been doing. She said that after testifying for me, many people online praised her courage and she'd made plenty of new friends. "Ma'am, you have no idea how angry I was when I saw those influencers bullying you. Seeing you doing so well now puts my mind at ease. I owe you so much. Without your help, I might never have cleared my name. You don't owe me anything. I only did what was right. I can't stand people who fake evidence and bully others." We talked for a long time before she reluctantly left. When winter arrived, business remained strong. I installed heat so every customer could feel warm. One day, heavy snow began falling, wrapping the whole city in a blanket of white. I closed the restaurant and sat by the window with Nian Nian, watching the snow as we shared a steaming hot pot. She sang while eating, her tiny figure especially adorable beneath the warm golden light. Just then my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. "Ma'am, I was wrong. I know that now. Can you please help me?" It was Yuan Yuan. Her voice sounded exhausted, congested, and faintly desperate. I stayed silent for a long time. The harm she'd caused me in my previous life was still vivid. My destroyed restaurant, the endless abuse, and the despair of being driven into a corner. It all felt like yesterday. Yet hearing the desperation in her voice brought no satisfaction, only a strange sadness. "I can't help you anymore. You chose that path yourself, and now you have to face the consequences." Yuan Yuan sobbed on the other end. Through her tears, she apologized and said how foolish she'd been and how deeply she regretted it. I stopped listening and hung up. I knew I wasn't a saint. I couldn't forgive the harm she'd done, but I wanted no further connection to her. It was time to let the past disappear with the wind. After I hung up, Nian Nian tugged at my shirt. "Mom, who is that? Are you sad?" I stroked her hair. "It's okay. It was someone who finally realized she'd done wrong. Nian Nian, remember to be kind and honest. Don't hurt people because sooner or later, your choices catch up with you." Nian Nian nodded without fully understanding, wrapped her arms around mine, and rested her head on my shoulder. For Lunar New Year, I took Nian Nian back to the countryside to visit her grandparents. They couldn't stop smiling and bought her plenty of treats and new clothes. Lunar New Year in the countryside was especially lively. Every home displayed red couplets and set off firecrackers, filling the air with celebration. Looking at my family and my daughter's beaming face, I felt completely happy. In this life, I finally had everything I'd wanted: a peaceful home, a loving family, and a little business of my own. After the holiday, Nian Nian and I returned to the city, and I reopened the restaurant. When spring arrived, I planted several rose bushes outside. Their pink and red blooms were beautiful, and customers couldn't help complimenting them. One day, an office worker who often ate at my restaurant said he loved the atmosphere and wanted to partner with me by listing my food online so more people could try it. I hesitated for a long time, but finally agreed. I didn't want internet fame controlling me again, but I did want more people to enjoy my food and to give Nian Nian and myself a better life. To my surprise, online orders poured in. People ordered my beef noodles and home-style dishes through the app, and some even drove over just to visit. The restaurant was busy, but the work felt fulfilling. I still bought every ingredient and cooked every meal myself. I also kept making time for Nian Nian, telling her stories and playing with her. Meanwhile, my following continued to grow. Many people were moved by my sincerity and kindness. One day, I received a message from another business owner the influencer crew had hurt. He wrote, "Seeing you doing so well inspired me to reopen my own shop. I admire you, and I'm truly grateful." Reading that message filled me with accomplishment. I'd not only saved myself, I'd also become a light for someone else. Another morning arrived. Sunlight streamed through the windows, warm and bright. I opened the door, the wind chime rang, and Nyan Nyan stood beside me. Mom, a brand new day is starting. I looked at her, then at the rising sun outside, and smiled softly. In my previous life, hatred and pain consumed me until they destroyed me. Reborn into this life, I held firm to my principles, settled the old score, and found happiness of my own. At last I understood that revenge, wealth, and fame weren't what mattered most. What mattered was cherishing what I had, staying true to myself and living an honest life. The sweet osmanthus still filled the breeze, and the restaurant remained warm and lively. My life had finally escaped the shadows of the past and stepped into the sunlight. For the rest of my life, I would live well with Nyan Nyan and keep loving this world. The past would never trap me again, and pain would never defeat me. Because I knew that as long as there was light in my heart and a road beneath my feet, the future would only get better.